Hi, you're watching the video abstract for the family process paper entitled Coparental Affect, Children's Emotion Dysregulation, and Parent and Child Depressive Symptoms. I'm Kristel Thomassin. I'm a professor at the University of Ottawa, and also want to acknowledge my co-authors, Cynthia Suveg, Molly Davis, Justin Lavner, and Steve Beach from the University of Georgia. We're very excited to be sharing this paper with you because it stems from our broader interest in understanding the role of the family in children's emotional development. The emotion atmosphere within the family is thought to play a primary role in children's development of adaptive emotion regulation abilities or maladaptive emotion regulation abilities also. But it seems that less work has focused on the co-parenting dyad within the emotion socialization literature in particular. So we were very eager to see what we might learn by looking at this dyad. So in the current paper, the primary aim was looking at the congruity of positive affect expressed by mothers and fathers within a triadic emotion discussion with their child, and seeing whether this positive affect congruity could give us any insight or any additional understanding of children's emotion dysregulation above and beyond other factors that are established in the literature as being related to child emotion dysregulation, including child negative affect and parental punitive responses to displays of emotions by their children. In AIM 2, we were interested in putting that the impact of positive affect congruity on child emotion dysregulation into some context. So in AIM 2, we looked at the impact of positive affect congruity on child emotion dysregulation as a mediator of the link between parental and child depressive symptoms. And I'll talk about those findings in just a moment. But just to give you a little bit of background on our main construct that we focused on, which is this positive affect congruity, we thought it might be helpful to kind of give you a little bit of insight into what that looked like. So families visited the laboratory where they participated in emotion discussion tasks. So the mother, father, and child triad discussed the time when the child felt happy for 5 minutes and also a time when the child felt sad for 5 minutes. And we focused on those two discussion contexts because of the relevance of happy and sad to depression. And during those discussions, we recorded them and later coded using a micro-level event-based coding approach for any instances of positive affect that was displayed by mothers and fathers. So that included any verbal or non-verbal sort of cues of positive affect. And using sequential analyses, we were able to determine the extent to which mothers and fathers were congruent in their expression of positive affect. And so that was kind of our key construct for the analyses. So going back to AIM 1, where we're looking to see whether we can gain any information by looking at the co-parenting dyad, we essentially ran a hierarchical regression model where we included child negative affect, maternal and paternal punitive reactions, and then incorporated this positive affect congruity variable to see if it can contribute any variance in child emotion dysregulation above and beyond those constructs that we already would expect to be related to child emotion dysregulation. And some interesting findings there. We did see that it contributed additional variance in child emotion dysregulation, but only when you're looking at the positive affect congruity in the sadness discussion, but not the happy discussion. So that's an interesting finding there. The second aim was looking, if you remember, at the positive affect congruity variable and the impact of that on child emotion dysregulation, and using that as a mediator of the link between parent and child depressive symptoms. So what you're talking about essentially is a serial mediation model where you have parental depressive symptoms leading to positive or influencing positive affect congruity, and then child emotional dysregulation, and then child depressive And in this model, again, some interesting findings there. We encourage you to download the paper and to look more into the nitty-gritty of the results and discussion as well. But we entered both maternal and paternal depressive symptoms simultaneously in the model and found a unique sort of pathway from maternal depressive symptoms influencing positive affect congruity, child emotional dysregulation, and child depressive symptoms, but only for the positive affect congruity that was displayed in the sadness emotion discussion context, not the happy emotion discussion context. So it's interesting, yet it's a nice pattern of findings where, in AIM-1, we also see this unique finding in the sadness emotion discussion context. So something kind of a take-home point there, that the sharing of positive affect within discussing, the context of discussing a sad event might be very important there. But we don't have much time, so I encourage you to download the paper and take a look. We also are open and we welcome any feedback, comments, or dialogue that you might want to share with us. And we thank you for watching.